for me. That's a limiting belief. And when you believe that, right, you create a reality that says life is not easy for me. Because how can the universe, God, give you something that's different from what you believe? Right? So first you change your beliefs about yourself, and then everything around you will change. So I don't know if you guys are recognizing all the limiting beliefs that you may have about yourself. And the most common belief that people have about themselves is that I am not enough. Right? So I'm going to tap into that a little bit better later. Right? That was just an intro of the work that I do, right, and how I do it. So today's topic is, how do you realize and step into your purpose? How do you step into your purpose? All right, so for me growing up, I got in trouble because I was different. I got in trouble because I talked a lot. I got in trouble because I thought outside the box. I was that kid that would be like, but why? Like, go do the dishes, but why? You know, so you can imagine growing up in a black household with a very vendor mother and asking questions, right? But today, I make money because I talk a lot, so I get paid to speak. I make money because I think outside of the box. I make money because I'm different, right? So speaking into purpose, what is your purpose? Purpose is a journey, not a destination. It's something that unfolds as you decide to step into it, right? So what is your purpose? And that's something that we ask ourselves a lot. So people go and they leave the country, and then they go to Dubai, you know, I'm trying to find my purpose, I'm trying to find myself, you know, and they go into different spaces, trying to find who they are. And the answer to that question is so simple that you won't even believe it. Your purpose is to be yourself.
Yes.
That's it. Your purpose is not your job. It's not to be an entrepreneur. My purpose is not to be an entrepreneur. When they call me on radio to interview me and they say, who are you? I say, I'm a child of God. What I do is an extension of who I am. Right? So what is your purpose? Your purpose is to be yourself and to be the best at it. That's it. Everything else is things that we put on ourselves. But God is sitting there saying, you are enough just as you are. Therefore, you're achieving your purpose just by existing, just by breathing in this room, just by showing up today. You are living in purpose already. So that's good news for you. If you thought you weren't living in purpose, you are, right? So what keeps people from living in purpose? The beliefs that they have about themselves. Most people do not believe that they are enough. So what happens when you believe that you're not enough? You go and you try to change yourself. So maybe you can look a little bit more like that other person who you think is enough, right? And then you spend your life trying to achieve somebody else's dream. Trying to look like somebody else, trying to fit into this mold that is not you, so that you can become enough, right? So most people do not step into their purpose, do not allow themselves to be themselves, because they're too busy trying to be someone else. And what causes that belief that you're not enough? So for some people, the cause is child abuse. Maybe your parents abused you, and that created a belief within yourself that I'm not enough, because why am I not receiving this love from my parents? Or maybe you'll be surprised the kind of conversations I have with my clients. Sometimes it's a simple thing like your parents compared you to your siblings. That can cause as much trauma as anything else. Because then you believe, I'm not enough. So you spend the rest of your life trying to be enough by achieving, getting the right certificates, the right degree, right? And you have this master's, you have your PhD, but you still feel like you're not enough. You go and get material things, but you still feel like you're not enough because you're just trying to feel like you're enough. Another trauma could be your maybe childhood rejection. Maybe your dad left when you were at a young age. Maybe he never acknowledged you. Things like that. Maybe you don't know your father or your mother, right? Maybe you were bullied. I was bullied as a kid, right? And that caused you to believe, I am not enough. So you spend the rest of your life trying to be enough. And this is what happens when you believe that you're not enough. Because you don't believe you're enough, right? You attract the reality that says I'm not enough. So if you do get, let's say you get into this amazing relationship, and then this person is amazing, they're taking you out, and I always say, they're probably not Zulu because I'm Zulu man, I don't know. I'm joking. But this person is taking you out, they're amazing, they make you feel secure, they spend time with you, they prioritize you, and then because you believe you're not enough, you sabotage it, and you push them away. Because how can you receive something if you don't believe you deserve it? So that's one of the things. Another thing is you get a great job, but you believe you're not enough. So yes, you're qualified and everything, but you have this unconscious belief within yourself that you are not enough, right? So when they call you for a promotion, right, you don't feel confident enough. You don't step up when the boss, and then somehow you sabotage that. Or another thing that happens, when you believe you're not enough, you attract people into your life who will treat you like you're not enough. And then you'll say, I knew it was too good to be true. Right? Because remember, you create what you are. And you attract your reality based on what you believe about yourself. Right? So whether you look at any spiritual belief, you look at any book out there, you create what you are. The invisible is created by the invisible. That means what you believe, what you think, that is what you create. Right? So that is what keeps people from stepping into their purpose and realizing, just being themselves. So the first thing you need to change, and the first thing you need to accept before you step into purpose is accept yourself and realize that you are enough. You have always been enough. When you were created, the divine looked at you and said, you are enough. It is good. All right? So you are enough. So first you have to deal with that belief about yourself that you have. You know the belief that you have about yourself. Those small and yellow beliefs, I'm not enough, happiness is not for me, happiness is not possible for me, those are limiting beliefs. So start by dealing with your past traumas and all of those things. But first also believe it. You can believe it now and decide you're enough. And then set boundaries in your relationships and then go for that job interview because you know you're enough. Right? I can step into any space and start talking because why? I'm enough. I can step into any space and I don't feel intimidated by the woman in the room because I'm enough. When you realize you're enough, you'll see the enoughness in everybody else around you. So why would you even be intimidated? Just to speak into what Cecil was saying over there. So that's the first thing. First, accept yourself because your purpose is to be yourself. So how can you be yourself if you don't believe you're enough? Start there, right? So how do you step into purpose now? Now we get into the practical stuff. How do you step into purpose? First, you embrace your inner voice, right? When Jesus, before he stepped into his ministry, he spent 40 days and 40 nights in the desert, right? Buddha spent, I think, 7 weeks in the forest, meditating on one spot. That's what it says. I don't know how accurate it is, because wow, I don't know if I can do 7 weeks on one spot, right? All the teachers that you hear of, Nelson Mandela, he was in prison for so many years, and when he came out, he was a different person, right? So anybody that you know that is a great leader stepped into some kind of quietness before they stepped out. And it's not even about leaving the country, it's not about going to prison for 27 years, it's not about going to a force, it's about listening to your inner voice, your higher voice, whatever you want to call it. Listening to God, the God within you. Right? And taking on the expectations. My parents expect me to become an accountant. Taking out those other external voices, you can't do it, you'll never be able to do it. But the only way to listen to your own voice is to go and be alone. And we don't do that these days. We're always on our phones, on social media, we're always doing these things. And always surrounded by the opinions and energy of other people. So how do you even know who you are if you can't even spend time with yourself? So start there. Learn to listen to your own inner voice. Embrace it. Trust your thoughts. Trust your thoughts. Right? Spend time alone. Really listen to those thoughts. Choose which ones you want to keep, which ones you don't want to keep. Start there. Now that you've listened to your inner voice, and I know your inner voice is going to tell you the truth, because within us, there is no brokenness. Your higher self is not broken. Your inner self does not know you as broken. It sees you as whole, divine. Because when God created you, He looked at you and said it was good. So the only thing you need to remove is the belief that you are not good. That's why I'm saying filter out the thoughts. So embrace the inner voice. The next step is look at what you're naturally good at. Alright, so like I said, when I was growing up, I used to talk a lot, and I was always solutions orientated, right? So I've always been a talker. In high school, I wrote a speech. I remember this one time I was in grade 9, and I wrote a speech on Nelson Mandela, all that stuff. And I got there, I was like, it doesn't even feel authentic to me and who I am, right, at the time. So I got on stage and I started laughing. Ha 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 ha! Alright, And everybody looked at me like I'm crazy. Which is I was okay with, really, because I've never really cared what people think. So I stood there and I said, this is me. I don't forget that speech. I said, this is me, right? And that felt more authentic. I got, I'm sure, 100% for that speech, which I didn't even prepare for, because I was being authentic to myself. Therefore, I did even better in that space. So look into the things that you're naturally good at. You know, I studied marketing, I have a degree in marketing, all those things. But today I'm a speaker, right? I've always been good at it. I've always been good at it. I might have not known that I was going to be a speaker, but that's what I'm naturally good at. So if I was sitting in the crowd today, I would have wanted somebody to tell me, look at the things that you're good at and start doing them. Right? The other thing is embrace what you love. Embrace what you enjoy. What do you enjoy? I enjoy helping people, right? I enjoy helping people. I enjoy talking. I love coming up with solutions, right? So I have a business development agency. So yeah, my work includes people and business development. So, and what I've always had is, I've always loved helping people, and I've always been solutions oriented. So when I was a child, my mom told me, no, you can't have a pool. So I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean I can't have a pool, right? So fine, I was like, okay, how do we get a pool? Because I want this pool, right? And then I started digging a pool in the yard. So there was cement, because they were building. And I got into a lot of trouble because there are pipes underneath. And I was there, 11 years old. I was so I'm gonna build this pool. That was me being solutions orientated. This one time I was in varsity, and I spent all my money on going out. All my money to go home. By the way, I called my mom, like, oh, I don't have money to go home. Fine. So she sends it, and then I spend it and go out. Now I need to go home. I live in Sunnyside in Pretoria. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I can walk from here to Bosman, ne? So that I can see, because now I'm short, I'm about 20 rand short. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm gonna walk from here, I'm gonna go to Bosman. When I get to Bosman, I'm like, okay, now I've always been spiritual. That's where my confidence comes from. The fact that I'm made in the image of the divine, right? And I've always had that relationship. So for me, I'm like, so when I'm happy, God, you got me, right? So I got there, and I sat in the taxi, like, okay, sharp. So when I come, and then I hear this lady asking the guy, the airtime guys, go buy airtime. And I'm like, wait, sissy, because I've got that last 15 rand in my account, but you can't withdraw it. So I asked the lady, give me the money. I'll send you the airtime. That's it. I've always thought that way, right? That's one of the things that I was good at. It only took me stepping into my purpose and letting that unfold and looking back and saying, oh wow, that was how God made me for this purpose. Because I didn't know I was going to be an entrepreneur when I grew up. I didn't know I would be a life coach when I grew up. I simply just took the step. And that's the last point that I'm going to put out to say, take that step. You know what that step is. Start that business, register that business, right? Start talking in front of people. You don't need to have 10 years of experience if that's what you want to do. Apply for the job, right? Volunteer in that organization that aligns with the things that you want to do. Take that step. Purpose is a journey, not a destination, right? So what you do is you step into it, and the journey unfolds. And then you step into that, and the journey unfolds. And because your purpose is to be you, and not to do the thing that you're doing, you're not attached to the thing that you're doing. You're just being yourself. So there's no pressure, guys. When you are just being yourself, the heavens delight. That's it. There's no pressure. So for me, same thing. I've only been a coach for 2 years. And in that 2 years, a month after I got certified as a life coach, I did my first workshop. I had 30 people at that workshop. What did I have? Twitter. I was starting over again because I'd been running my business for 5 years. But at that time, I had to start over again because the vision had changed, right? So I had Twitter, and then I didn't have anything else really. So I put it out there, hey, I'm hosting a workshop, guys, and I advertised. I also had my marketing degree. So I used that, right? So look back and take that step. You know what that step is, but it'll never unfold if you don't start, right? So for me, my journey has unfolded. I thought I was just going to be a coach. Now I'm like, oh, okay, speaker. And maybe next time it's going to be a book coming out. We don't know, right? And then there's radio opportunities that came out in the past 2 years. So I've been on SAFM, Power FM, Radio 2000, past 2 years. If I was too afraid, because also when you tell people, I think there's a family member that I spoke to, I said, I'm thinking of doing a coaching course. And they said, we're not this and that. Filter out the voices. Let your voice be the loudest. I'd start by stepping into purpose. And then last point, because there was last point 1, last point 2, right? So the last point is that look back on your journey. Everything that you have encountered in your journey is for your purpose. So from the day you were born, the parents your body chose, from the village you grew up in, from the school you went to, that was all aligned with your purpose unfolding. So like I said, I would not have, if I didn't experience bullying as a child, I would not be standing in front of you. If I didn't experience child abuse, I would not be standing in front of you. If I didn't experience rejection, I would not be standing in front of you. I experienced all those things, but that's not my story. I write my story, right? I understand, so forgive the past because it happened for you. I would not have the compassion that I do for my clients because I wouldn't care. Why would I care if people are being bullied and they're scarred emotionally? But because I have compassion, because I know what it feels like to be a child and not have that support. So I remember, I think I just loved helping people. And that compassion, that unique thing makes me me. It allows me to be Yvette and stand in front of you guys and talk. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't gone through all those things. Maybe I would have just done my marketing degree and then went to get a job with something else, right? So everything that has happened in your journey until this point was for this very purpose, to prepare you for what it is that you've been called for. It was not to hurt you, right? There's a saying that says, life happens for you, not to you. So it happens for you so that you can have this purpose one day. But unless you step into it, it will never unfold. It will never unfold and you won't be able to look back and say, that's why. The dots will start to connect, right? So from this girl, Krapin Limpopo, who's now a speaker on radio, and all these things, who has plans to be a global speaker, right? It takes appreciating your journey, being grateful for it. That's when you know you've healed. Be grateful for everything that has happened, the good and the bad. Tony Robbins says, blame your parents. Blame them for everything bad, blame them for everything good. Blame them because they made you stronger. Blame them because they made you purposeful. Blame them because they gave you compassion. Blame